What's up, dudes? I'm in the parking lot at the grocery store. My ex lives down in my basement, and I'm just kind of in stunned silence. Here's what it's like to be financially entangled with a completely wrong person. He does all the finances. He's done them for 17 years. I don't have the skills with my spectruminess. He kept putting off doing the taxes. And we were behind a couple years on taxes. And we do our taxes through a tax company. And the tax company did it all legally, filed for these extensions and all that. I talked to family members. I'm like, I lost my shit. I was like, what do I do? He won't file the taxes. And my family members were like, well, just file them yourself. Do you do it? And it's like, I can't do it because, first of all, we're still legally married. And we have to joint file. And I can't pull up his W-2s off of Wells Fargo. Like, he won't do it. And all it was that worksheet thing that the tax service people give you. He just kept putting it off and putting it off. Wouldn't do it, won't do it, won't do it. And he did that for like 2 years. I said, can I sit down with you and can we I'll help you, we'll do it together. We'll just work our way through this. I mean, it's like a fucking tax worksheet. He just refused to do it. He would just say, no, I'll do it when I want to do it. The decision is done. And he finally did it. And after all is said and done, we ended up getting a refund. And about a month ago, we had like $4,000 in the bank. And I have a 15-year-old computer. And I have an old Samsung Droid notebook phone that has a blurry spot every time you try to take a picture, because I accidentally dropped it in tomato soup. So my computer keeps shutting down. My business is run online. I can't take product photos, and he won't let me upgrade. And so I have to run every financial decision through him. And so he told me I get to get a new computer, a personal computer, with my part of the tax refund. And then his family came over, and I told his family how awful he was being to me, and he yelled at me in front of the family, now I don't get a computer. And they heard him say it. His family will not help me. So this morning, I talked to him the other day. I was crying. I said, I need help buying a computer. I've never bought a computer on my own. You've always bought computers. And he just blew me off. And then this morning, I yelled down. I said, I'm going to the grocery store. Is it okay if I spend some money on groceries? And he said, how much? And I said, well, don't we have a lot of money? He said, no. Yeah, the money's all gone now. He said he paid bills, and our house payment has gone up $200. Our house payment used to be like $1,500 and something dollars. And we have a fixed rate mortgage. I don't know how it would go up $200. So now all the money is gone. What do we know? We know he went on vacation with his girlfriend. We know he's gone all the time. We know his personality has completely changed. He called me a fucking cunt the other day. He still hasn't cut the tree limbs. And now I don't have any access to get a computer with my money. That was my money. This is how insidious this is, being entangled with somebody like this. And then on top of it, having like spectrumy, it's called number dysgraphia, and it's gotten worse since I've had some trauma. Where just like numbers kind of lose meaning. They don't really make sense. I noticed my friend, we both went to the same elementary school, and we learned math the same way. And when she's thinking real fast, she still counts on her fingers like me. And I don't know if she absolutely understands math. I don't know if I ever fully learned math or if I just memorized flashcards. And then I have this like math block. So that's why I'm stuck. And now I'm like fucked with my work. So I got $20. I'm gonna go buy some hamburger and make lasagna for my kid. I'm gonna make a big one and send some over to my other kid. My son is 21. My daughter is 17. I'm 50. So we'll see what happens. So I'm back home, got all the groceries. I'm gonna cook a lasagna. You wanna have a lasagna? I'll show you how to make lasagna. So yeah, stuff is really toxic with my ex. He's an old school BMX rider. He's smacked his head a bunch of times over the years. And every year he gets a little more confusing. So that's the background of what I'm going through. Well, let's have lasagna. Lasagna makes everything better. All right, here's what I got. It ended up being a little bit more than $20 because I got this big log of 3 pounds of ground beef. But that's okay. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to cut it into individual 1 pound servings. I'm going to put 2 pounds in the freezer. I'm going to use 1 pound, and I have some generic Spam in the pantry that I'll mix with this, and it'll be super yummy for the lasagna. I got some cottage cheese. They had these really beautiful corn on the cobs on sale. If you're local at Cub Foods, 5 for $3. So you don't have to get 5 to get the deal. So I got 1 for me and 1 for my daughter, and some cheese. And I'm going to make the rest of the stuff using stuff I have in the pantry as well as the garden. All right, I chopped it up. Look at how much meat you get from that one thing. Now, if you're at the grocery store and you use Spam, there's usually generic right next to it. You can't tell the difference when it's cooked, dudes. So when Spam is on sale, I get Spam, but if it's not on sale, I get the generic. I get whatever's cheapest. Now I'm gonna mix these all together, start frying them. Look at how much meat I have now. And it's gonna be super good. So if sometimes you might get pork sausage to put in your lasagna with your ground beef. You can go cheaper using Spam. It's basically the same thing. And when I cook this, I'm not going to season it with Italian seasonings. I add the Italian seasoning to the cheese. I'm just going to cook it with basic salt, pepper, and garlic. I'm going to throw in some minced onions too with this. All right, so there's a big bowl of meat that's all done. I got the pan all ready. It still has, I didn't rinse it out. It still has some of the meat droppings in it. And now I'm going to make sauce. So what I'm going to do is use a can of tomato sauce, and I'm going to, I haven't decided yet. I'm going to see how many are in there. I'm going to pour all the juice from this into the pan as well, and maybe one thing of these tomatoes. The other tomatoes I'm going to save to layer on the lasagna. We'll see how it works out. And then I'm going to mix all sorts of herbs and all sorts of stuff with it. These tomatoes have garlic, oregano, and basil, onion, celery, and bell pepper. Okay, I have the contents in the can. I saved 1 can of tomatoes, and here's what it looks like. Those are minced onions I put on there. So the other can of chunky tomatoes are in here. What I'm going to do now before I turn it on, before it gets hot, is I'm going to puree it. I'm going to immersion blend it and puree those chunky tomatoes. If you're going to make your own sauce like this, if you don't have an immersion blender, you can pour all of this into a regular blender. Okay, it's all blended up. This is what it looks like. I tried it, and you guys, I don't have to add any seasoning. The tomato sauce, so when you buy canned tomato sauce, it has a little bit of sugar in it and some spices. It's already kind of has some flavor in it with the tomato. And the reason why, and if you're not using tomato sauce, put a little bit of sugar in your sauce because it'll cut the acidity of the tomato. Just like a spoonful. And then I use those other ones that had all those other things in them, and it's perfect. So I'm just going to heat it up. Actually, you know what? I don't think I even need to heat it up. I think it's ready. Yummy. All right, I'm outside by the deck garden, and growing right here is some fresh parsley. So I'm going to get some fresh parsley, and then I'm going to go all the way to the bottom garden, over to right there, and pick some of that kale. I think I also have some really good Swiss chard down there that I might add too. And of course, fresh basil. All right, so here's everything I got from the garden. I also found a tomato that I didn't see when I was harvesting tomatoes. If your tomato splits, that's totally cool. It just means it's gotten a lot of water and it's grown faster than the skin of the tomato can grow. It's still totally edible though. I also grabbed some garlic chives. All right, so I removed all the stems from the kale. You don't want to eat the stems of the kale, but you can eat the stems of Swiss chard. So I'm going to cut the Swiss chard stems up, throw them in the bowl, ribbon all this stuff, throw it in the bowl, and move on to our parsley and basil. All right, there it is. I only used one bag of this cheddar. Okay, I cooked it for 30 minutes and I took the top off. And now I'm going to put it back in there. I'm cooking it at 375. But it is right up to the brim. So I'm going to put it on a cookie sheet. Oh my God, you guys, it's going to be so good. Halfway there. It kind of makes you want to like... I'd like to thank the gods for this. Jesus, Heavenly Christ himself. Anybody who's into lasagna, feel free to thank all powers that be. Whoever you believe in, thank them. Yeah, I even went into thanking Jesus, Heavenly Christ. Yeah, I thank Bejeebus. Oh my fucking God, you guys, that looks so good. Praise everybody. We're gonna be grubbing.